Point players do not have pennies on the sideline, so it would be hard for the linesman to see whether there would be an offsides call or not, because he could not distinguish between the players that were out of the game and the players that were in the game. So he's asking them all to sit down over on the sideline. All right, and Wheaton's got the ball to start out, goes to Orweiler on the far side, in the attacking third of the on the near side, in the attacking third of the field. Ball runs across the middle of the field, and then it's poked out and cleared up a little bit. Carson comes on, gets a foot on it, and then there's a touch by Delatorre over to the near side to Lee, and that's going to roll out of bounds in the attacking third of the field for Wheaton. First plays of this game. Throw is taken by Stevens Point. Throw goes in and immediately out after Emily Walsh kicked that one out of bounds. So it'll be Wheaton's throw. Across the back today, you've got Foltz, Lidner, and Mosier. Karsten playing in front of Lidner. And Mosier and Foltz, the outside backs, right and left respectively. In the midfield, with the ball currently on the far side, is Carrie Kleinstra with it at the top corner of the box. Now puts the ball across the middle of the field to Kopelman, and that's going to roll out of bounds across on the end of the goal line for a corner kick for Stevens Point. Also in the midfield for Wheaton, Orweiler is going to be playing left midfield. Again, Kleinstra on the right. In the center, you've got Delatorre, and up top today, from left to right, you've got Kopelman, Lee, and Berg. And Blair, we actually have an interesting situation today, as this game will be overlapping another one of Wheaton Sport, another Wheaton Sport game.
Yes, that's right. We're going to be hearing the...
Here's a long ball into Lee in the box. Lee one-on-one with the keeper and puts it over the goal. Wheaton's first real chance here with about 43 minutes left in the first half. Go ahead, Blair.
We're going to be having the Wheaton Thunder football team. Their broadcast will be overlapping this one. So we'll make sure to keep reminding you of that. You can hear you can hear the rest of this game online. Right,
so some point in the second half, either coming out of halftime or early in the second half, you will actually lose our broadcast if you're listening just on the radio, and they'll remind you in the studio. Zach Bowler will remind you, but if you want to keep following this game, go to WETN.org and then click on the drop-down box that says Watch Live. This game will be streaming along with broadcast. And here's Weiss for Stevens Point, and she wins a corner kick for Stevens Point. So again, you will hear us for the entire first half, and then we will no longer be on 88.1 WETN. But if you go on Watch Live online, WETN.org, you can follow the rest of this game on there. Here's a... Yeah, go ahead, Blair.
And if you just want to keep getting the audio, that's you just need a Real Player or Windows Media Player.
That's right, and that's all the links for all that is online. Stevens Point with it, and Delatorre clears it from about the top of the box, runs down to Orweiler, bounces a couple times before she controls it. She's got it in the defending third of the field for Wheaton. Goes by one defender. That's actually Weiss that she went by. And now Weiss catches back up with her. It's going to be out of bounds for a Wheaton throw here on the near side, just on Stevens Point's side of midfield. Orweiler's throw goes into Kopelman. Kopelman with one defender on her back, cuts it back to her left and tries to hit Orweiler with a pass, but that's dispossessed by Weiss. Weiss over to Walsh, and Walsh clears it up, and Foltz heads it out of bounds, and in the process loses her headband. She's wearing that, I believe, usually when players wear that, it's because they have had a previous past of concussions and whatnot. Do basketball players? She had 3 concussions last year, we're being told by Samantha here in the press box. So that is why she wears that. Tossed it out of bounds, actually, because she didn't want to slow up the play, so she's playing without it right now. Stevens Point has got a throw in there, attacking third of the field. Showing for the ball is Leah Larson. Doesn't go to her, instead goes to the middle of the field over by Bischke, and then it's cleared out by Karsten. High clearance, bounces once. Berg comes back into Wheaton territory to regain possession of it, and then loses it to Weiss, and Weiss drops it back, and Stevens Point will reset the attack, and then Kopelman takes it in the middle of the field. Kopelman, Lee, and Berg attacking 5 Stevens Point players. Berg with the ball on the far side near the top corner of the box. Ball on her right foot, now cuts it back to her left. Plays it into the middle of the box to Lee. Lee has it in the middle of the box. Her, a defender and the keeper, and puts it over the crossbar once again.
Has the second shot Taryn's had in the first 5 minutes of this game. and that was very promising.
Yeah, we're going to get, looks like, a lot of shots in the middle as they're letting her control the ball right in the middle of the box. And Pam Lucko, the keeper, takes the goal kick for Stevens Point. Goal kick goes right to Berg. Berg drops it back to Mosier. Mosier over to Kleinstra. Kleinstra touches up to Berg. Berg with one defender on her back. Now goes by that defender, trying to take it middle of the field. Lays it back instead, trying to get it to Mosier, and it's not going to get there as Bischke comes up with it for Stevens Point. Bischke passes up to another forward, and Mosier steps up and clears it to about midfield. Orweiler touching the ball on the near side towards the middle of the field to Delatorre. Delatorre tried to get it up to Lee, dispossessed by Cornelius. Cornelius gets it over far side for Stevens Point right at the midfield line. Ball rolls to Walsh, and Walsh tried to get it up on the far side further in the attack and goes out of bounds, so Mosier takes the throw. And the throw goes in off of Berg and out of bounds for a Stevens Point throw right at midfield on the far side. Throw is headed out by Mosier, and then a following header by Delatorre, and Delatorre controls it now in the middle of the field. Plays a left-footed through ball to Kopelman. Good step by Katie Waterman, co-captaining this team with Kaylee Weiss. Here's a through ball down the far sideline to Berg, and Berg is going to try to get around Moosbach and cannot as Moosbach kicks it out. So Wheaton's going to have another throw here on the far side of the field. Kleinstra is going to take this one. If you're just joining us, about 7 minutes into this game, Wheaton and Stevens Point still scoreless. This is actually Wheaton's 4th or 5th game against a top 25 team. This is their 4th game. They're 2-0-1 against top 25 teams this year. Stevens Point is 2-1. Again, that tie for Wheaton coming to the hands of UW Eau Claire. That ended their home win streak. Now it is a home unbeaten streak. Long cross to Orweiler on the near side of the field. Orweiler has it in the attacking third. One defender in front of her. She tries to go goal line, now comes back up. Plays a ball on the ground across the middle of the box, and it's cleared out. Karsten trying to get to it. She can't. Ball rolls all the way to Pruitt. Amanda Pruitt now loses it to Karsten, and Karsten coming back up the field. Touch a little too far out in front of her. Walsh possesses it for Stevens Point. Walsh passes up, and Kleinstra comes into possession, but knocks it right back to Walsh, and Walsh plays middle of the field, still in Pointer territory. Loses it to Karsten. Karsten to Delatorre. Wheaton's got a little bit of numbers here. Delatorre over to Lee. Lee with it near the top corner of the box on the near side. Goes goal line. Now cuts it back. Defender goes down. She's got space in front of her. Plays it on the ground across the box, and that's cleared out once again by the Pointers. Ball rolls up to Weiss. Weiss with a nice little flick pass to Bischke. Bischke running up the field. Foltz in front of her. See how she stepped and contained there instead of dove in? That gave Karsten time to get back and may prevent, yeah, it does, as Orweiler gets back now as well. So Foltz right there stopped the attack by stepping up, containing, instead of stepping up and diving in. That's something that you see a lot of younger, maybe more eager players try to do, is win the ball instantly. Karsten with the ball on Wheaton's side of midfield, passes up to Berg on the ground across midfield. Berg lays it back to Kleinstra. Kleinstra cuts back, and she's still backtracking. Passes back to Mosier. Mosier with a long through ball, headed out of the air by Vanden Heuvel. Probably my favorite name on this UW Stevens Point team. And the ball goes out of bounds on the far side off of Wheaton, so it's going to be a throw for Stevens Point. About 36 minutes left here in the first half. Throw goes into Pruitt, and Pruitt sends a through ball down the line. Mosier trying to catch up with it. Mosier does and drops it to Lidner. Lidner with the ball on the far side, plays straight up the middle to Foltz. Foltz all the way over there on the far side of the field. We had seen her playing left back earlier, and now she's going to start making her way back to that left back position. You saw Orweiler covering for her. Delatorre passes over to Kopelman, who has it near the top of the box. Now she's losing her angle on a shot a little bit, and it goes out of bounds on the goal line. Good opportunity there.
Kopelman, like you said, with 3 goals this season.
That's right.
3-goal streak.
Yeah, 3-goal streak. Trying to keep that going today, make it 4. Lucko takes the kick over Delatorre's head, over to Weiss. Weiss plays negative across the middle of the field to Walsh. Walsh with the ball on her left foot, and here's a through ball up to Jackie Spees, a midfielder, but she's got some speed up top as well. Mosier comes into play of it, and Mosier clears it out of bounds on the far side. Throw goes in for Stevens Point to Weiss, and then it's cleared up, and Orweiler heads it out of Wheaton's box. But here comes Spees with the ball in Wheaton's box. They're going to get some chances. Spees lays it off to Weiss. Weiss passes over, and that is a deflection by Erickson. Fantastic save as Larson had a shot point blank on Erickson with nobody in front of her. And Erickson a little bit slow to get off the ground as she really took a shot, just blocking that all out with her body. She's up off the ground now, and the referee is going to jog back over to her to see if she's okay. And the clock will continue to run. Really a fantastic save by Erickson right there.
Yeah, there were a lot of people in that box in front of her, and, you know, she just kept her eye on the ball. She took it pretty hard, though.
Spees had it on the far side of the field, played negative. Again, the midfielders got some speed. She played negative to Kaylee Weiss, who was actually their leading goal scorer on the season with 10 goals in 8 games. And this UW Stevens Point team, and Erickson is okay. She takes a drink from the water bottle. This UW Stevens Point team has scored 31 goals again on the season in 8 games, but they have been scored by 6 people.
Wow.
So 6 people coming up with 31 goals. And Weiss and Spees, 2 of those 6 people. And actually, we just saw Larson. She is just outside of that range. She's got an assist on the season. She's started every game that she's played in thus far, but was not able to become that 7th person. And Erickson is okay, and Stevens Point takes the throw in. That's headed out by Delatorre. Delatorre up to Kopelman. Kopelman plays on the ground up to Lee. Ball rolled a little too slowly. Gave time for Vandenheuvel to step in front of it. Now Larson with the ball on the near side of the field. Kopelman steps in, and Larson plays middle of the field to Walsh. Walsh loses it to Karsten. Over to Kopelman. Kopelman with the ball coming down the middle of the field near the top of Wheaton Circle. Plays square to Delatorre to her right side. Now over to Berg on the far side of the field. Berg has it, 2 defenders on her. Cuts it back. Looking for some support. Finds Kleinstra. Kleinstra goes by 1 defender. Now 2 defenders. Now plays square across the field to Lee. Lee with a shot right on goal and into the hands of Lucko.
So that's our 3rd shot on goal for this game with 33 minutes left in the first half.
And still scoreless.
Still scoreless.
And here's a through ball to Weiss. This could be trouble for Wheaton. Lidner trying to keep her in front of her. Weiss tries to cut back in. Lidner pokes her foot around Weiss's body and then clears it down the line. Again, you got to watch out for her. That senior's got 10 goals already on the season. I believe she was offensive player of the week in not the CCIW, but in Stevens Point's conference. Player of the week. She's got 2 hat tricks already on this season, actually. Ball rolls out of bounds on the near side. It's going to be a Wheaton throw in the attacking third of the field, and it looks like Kopelman's going to take this. And everybody goes towards the middle of the box because you know what Kopelman's going to do. She's going to throw it long. Takes a few steps up to the line, and that one might have slipped a little. Gets it to Lee, though. Lee heads it back across towards the top of the box to Delatorre. Delatorre drops to Carson. Carson's got about a 25-yard shot, goes off of a defender and into the hands of the keeper. Little team effort right there. Lucko going to punt this one out short of midfield. Bounces now in the air over midfield. Orweiler with a touch on it. Now with possession is Stevens Point. Larson has it, plays square, dispossessed by Delatorre. Delatorre plays over to Lee, and that's going to roll past Lee to the feet of Moosbach. Moosbach passes it up to Walsh. Walsh in the air over the head of Mosier. Running onto it is Prowat, and then that's cleared by Lidner, who came over to help out Mosier. And it's going to go all the way back to Stevens Point's defense. Pass back up the middle of the field, and Delatorre possesses it. Goes over the defender. Here's a through ball to Lee, and Lee was not able to get to the ball before the keeper as Lucko comes up with it. You saw in the defense a moment ago, you saw Mosier get beat on a ball in the air, and the attacker, Prawatt, was trying to go around her. She wasn't able to get there in time, so when Lidner came over to that far side, Mosier dropped and covered Lidner. You always got to have people covering your back. And Stevens Point with the ball now, and they're defending third of the field. Ball rolls up to Spies. Spies tries to get it up to Prawatt, and it's knocked out of bounds by Mosier. Good step there. Throw in for Stevens Point. Throw goes into Spies. Spies touches it up and out of bounds. It's going to be a Wheaton throw now. Mosier's going to take that one on Wheaton's side of the field. Throw goes into Karsten. Karsten turns with it, lets it roll rather across her body, and being defended hard by Walsh. Karsten gets it over to Orweiler. Orweiler pass on the ground up to Kopelman, and Kopelman was not able to get it as Katie Waterman stepped in and got it and kicked it out of bounds. So Fultz is going to take a throw right around midfield on the near side. Throw goes into Kopelman. Kopelman loses it middle of the field. Now Weiss has it. Weiss passes it across the field to Bischke, and they've got numbers. Now pass goes up to Prawatt, and Prawatt puts it just wide of the goal, but it's going to be offsides anyway. That was scary.
Yes.
Offside.
It was looking like Wheaton wasn't getting back there in time. They couldn't get ahead of the ball. And so you had two Stevens Point defenders running out with it.
Orweiler carrying the ball about 40 yards or so now towards the middle of the field, about 30 yards out from the goal still. Knocks it back to Delatorre. Delatorre tries to get it to Lee, and the defender pops it straight up in the air. Ball's going to bounce once in the box on the far side. Berg comes up with it. Berg cuts it back to her left foot, now takes a shot, and that's going to be deflected off of a defender and cleared out now up to Weiss. Weiss has it, and she's looking for Prawatt. Tries to send Prawatt, and this is going to roll out of bounds on the near side. And Wheaton's defending third of the field. And Mosier's going to take this throw on the near side. So Mosier's all the way over on this side right now, and ball rolls far side to Kleinstra. And Mosier's starting to make her way back. Lidner with the ball on the far side. Passes back over to Kleinstra. Got to try to keep this in bounds. She does. Still on Wheaton's side of the field. Kleinstra carrying the ball up now across midfield on the ground. Passes it up to Berg. Berg turns with it. Now stops with it. Now goes by one defender backwards. And passes up to Lee. Lee with it on the goal line. Tries to get across in off a defender and out of bounds. That's going to be Wheaton's first corner kick of the game.
Corner kick.
We're at 28 minutes left in this first half, and the game is still scoreless.
And Kleinstra and Delatorre lining up over this one. Again, Walsh has to stand 10 yards back. That's the rule. It is a kick, a free kick still. Delatorre goes by one defender and then plays negative to Kleinstra, who takes a left-footed shot to Lee, and Lee touches it, and that was on the goal line before it was cleared out by the defender. So that looked like two shots actually right there, one by Kleinstra and then a follow-up by Lee. And now Delatorre has it near the middle of the box. Ball rolls back out to Lee. Lee's going to let it keep rolling to Karsten. Karsten plays the ball with her left foot into the box and off the end line for a goal kick. Some good opportunities. You see Wheaton a lot this year taking those short corners. They like those over just putting a 50-50 ball up in the air because they're able to retain possession. And usually the corner goes from the kick taker to the person standing right next to him, and the kick taker will make an overlapping run towards the top corner of the box on whatever side they're on and receive the ball back. And Stevens Point obviously watching film on that, so they were ready to defend it perfectly, but Delatorre just held onto the ball and juked past one defender and kept taking it towards the near post before playing that ball negative. Weiss with the ball in Stevens Point territory. Now Walsh trying to come up with it. Orweiler's got way too much speed for her, though, and beats her to the ball. Orweiler with the ball in the middle of the field. Drops it to Mosier. Mosier plays sideline near side to Kopelman. Kopelman drops it back across midfield to Fultz. Fultz plays with her left foot in the air up to Lee. Lee heads it over to Kopelman and out of bounds on the near side, so it's going to be a throw for Stevens Point. Larson takes the throw. That goes into Waterman. Being pressured by Lee, Waterman gets it up the near side and out of bounds. So Orweiler's got a throw now. And the center referee is calling a deflection. So it's going to be Stevens Point's throw. Throw goes in and actually stays in as it came right back to the thrower, and the thrower had to clear it backwards. It was her only play to keep it in bounds, and then Lee was fouled trying to make a run on that backwards clearance. So it's going to be a free kick for Wheaton with about 26 minutes left, still scoreless for Delatorre. If you go from the top corner of the box near side and go straight to the sideline, almost on the sideline, that's where Delatorre is taking this kick from. Plays it in the air to the middle of the box to Lee, and the keeper comes up with it.
That was not a smart foul for Stevens Point. We were so close to the near side, and the ball was about to roll out of bounds.
And instead they decided to give us another good chance. And Folt's header goes towards the middle of the field. Karsten comes up with it. And then Lidner pops it up in the air, and Karsten heads it out to Kleinstra. Kleinstra then loses it to Spies. Spies passes it back all the way back to the center defender. And that looks like Vanderhoeven. Vandenhoevel. Tongue twister. Walsh with the ball in the middle of the field, passes up to, tries to get it to Weiss. Now plays back across towards the top of the box, and Lidner is going to head it out to Mosier, and Mosier actually heads it backwards to Lidner. And here's the clearance we've been waiting for by Lidner with her head in the air. And then it's put right back into the box and headed out by Mosier. A lot of back and forth right now. Still 0-0. And Berg comes back from the top to try to help out momentarily, but they get the ball away. And now Kleinstra finally gets it away. And Kleinstra passes up to Lee around midfield, back to Delatorre, and Delatorre trying to send Kopelman or Lee. Ball's going to roll all the way back to the keeper, though. And Lucko will have herself a punt. Lucko's kick goes past midfield, and Kleinstra with a great header back up to Lee. Lee loses it, and ball runs back to Stevens Point possession. Carson with the ball in the middle of the field, now plays near side to Orweiler. Orweiler coming up across midfield on the ground. She's got one defender in front of her, that's Larson. And now it looks like she may have two defenders in a moment, trying to juke Larson out of her shoes. Now cuts it back again, still trying to lose Larson. Now plays it over to Delatorre. Delatorre with the ball about 30 yards out, cuts it back to her left foot. She may have a shot here from the top of the box, and the shot skips once off the keeper's hands. Keeper can't come up with it. Berg charges and knocks it out of bounds. Looked like the keeper might have hit it, but they're going to call it off of Berg. So it's going to be a goal kick for Lucko. Good pressure, though, by Wheaton. Lucko lines up for the kick with about 23 minutes left here in the first half. Lucko's kick goes low, straight up the middle of the field, and rolls on the ground all the way back to Mosier. Mosier plays it on the ground up across midfield, far side to Kleinstra. Kleinstra looks square, finds Karsten. Karsten lays it back to Foltz. Foltz running into the attack a little bit, has got Weiss in front of her. Plays over to Orweiler. Orweiler with the ball near the top corner of the box on the near side, now takes a right-footed shot, and that's going to go over the crossbar. Good aggressiveness, though, by Orweiler. Coming in, had the ball on her left, cut it back to her right, and saw the goal, so hey, why not try to hit for it, right? Lucko with another goal kick. And this one a little bit more in the air, taken out of the air by Karsten. Karsten's header goes to Spies of Stevens Point. Spies loses it to Kleinstra. Kleinstra plays far side to Berg. Berg's got a little bit of space in front of her, cuts it back in front of a defender, and then plays it across the middle of the field to Delatorre. Delatorre's got a left-footed shot in front of the goal, passes it up to Kopelman. Kopelman left-footed shot just over the crossbar. There's where you see the unselfish play of Wheaton, as Delatorre had almost an identical shot of what she had just a moment ago, and instead saw Kopelman wide open as the defenders began to step and played it just diagonal for her to run onto it. It was just her and the keeper, and just put it just over the crossbar. Goal kick goes to Delatorre in the middle of the field. Delatorre plays a through ball up to Berg, and that's going to run in front of Berg. And Vanden Heuvel kicks it off of Berg and out of bounds. Stevens Point throw in their defending third of the field. This throw is going to be taken by Stevens Point. Goes over the head of Kleinstra and out of bounds. Didn't touch anybody, but did come in bounds momentarily. Karsten's going to take this throw for Wheaton. She looks forward, she looks back. Now she passes forward to Berg. Berg's got her back to the goal, lays it back to Delatorre. Delatorre has Foltz on her left and plays her. Foltz with the ball near the top of the circle for Wheaton. Now plays into the attacking third of the field to Orweiler on the near side. Orweiler touched to Kopelman. Kopelman has it back to Orweiler. Orweiler with the ball, plays into the middle of the box to Lee. Lee trying to turn around 1-2 defenders. Can't do it, and she's dispossessed. Weiss comes up with it, and Weiss gets it up to Pruett. Pruett with the ball for Stevens Point, and Mosier gives her a little room, and Pruett gets the ball up and loses it to Foltz. Foltz clears it straight down the middle of the field, and Vanden Heuvel comes down with it and clears it right back up the field to Weiss. Being defended by Foltz, and Foltz pokes around her and pops the ball away from her. Cornelius with the ball now in the center of the field for Stevens Point. Loses it now to Karsten. Karsten coming down the field, plays up to Lee. Lee is going to have that roll too far in front of her. Goes back to Kopelman. Kopelman with one defender on her back and three in front of her. Plays over to Lee. Lee taking her time. Not really being pressured, even though she's about 25 yards out. Lays it off to Kopelman. Kopelman with the ball in the box on her right foot. Her and the keeper. And her shot is deflected off of a defender out of bounds for a corner kick. And the referee is actually going to say it's a goal kick. He does have a better angle than us down there, but it looked like Kopelman's shot was deflected off of a defender after the ball left her foot, but regardless, it's going to be a goal kick. It was a great opportunity for Wheaton. Goal kick goes short to Lee on the ground right at the top of the box. You don't see that a lot. Plays near side to Kopelman. Kopelman with the ball attacking third of the field near side, plays to Orweiler, top corner of the box. Orweiler tries to hit Lee on the ground in the middle of the box, and defender steps in front and clears it to Mosier. Mosier coming up into the attack, has it on her right foot, and has tons of defenders in front of her. You've got probably 18 players squeezed into Wheaton's attacking third of the field right now as Stevens Point's packing it in a little bit. Berg plays the ball across the box, and then it's cleared out by Vanden Heuvel. And that's going to go out of bounds for a Wheaton throw on the far side. Kleinster's going to take it. Throw goes into Karsten. Karsten got one defender in front of her. That's Walsh. Plays it square to Delatorre. Still coming towards the near side of the field is Foltz. Foltz plays it with her left foot back across the field, and that's going to be cleared by Walsh. Straight to Orweiler on the near side, and Orweiler loses it. But Foltz comes up with it, plays Lee in the middle of the box, and Lee heads it out of bounds for another goal kick for Stevens Point with about 18:20 left here in the first half. Still scoreless. Lucko has started all 8 games in goal for Stevens Point. She's got 7 goals against her, but she's recorded 44 saves. And she's got 3 shutouts on the season. It's going to be another goal kick for Stevens Point, as Lucko just really not able to get the ball in the air. So this is going to be taken by Vanden Heuvel. Vanden Heuvel can't get it in the air either. Plays straight up the middle of the field. Kleinstra comes out with it. Kleinstra has Berg on her right, plays her. Berg with the ball turns across her body, now coming towards the top corner of the box on the far side. Cuts it back to her left foot, plays it on the ground towards the middle of the box, and that's cleared out by the defender. Now with the ball coming into the Wheaton side of the field before Foltz kicked it out was Weiss. So Delatorre is going to have it in the attacking third again. Plays in the air towards the middle of the box, and Lucko comes up with this one. Let's see if Lucko can get this out of pointer territory. Ball rolls up to Weiss, and Foltz with a good step forces Weiss to play it backwards. And then Larson plays it around Orweiler, gets it back. Larson plays up to Pruett. Pruett loses it to Mosier temporarily. Walsh now with a long clearance into Wheaton's box, and that's going to be headed out by Orweiler. And Karsten pops it straight up in the air. And then it's headed straight up in the air by a Stevens Point, and then cleared on the ground by Mosier up to Kopelman. 3-on-4 for Wheaton. not with great numbers, but Kopelman coming up, playing a through ball to Berg. Berg's going to try to keep this one from running out of bounds. She beats her defender to it and keeps it from going out of bounds for a second before she was knocked down, and it's actually, they're going to call a goal kick as it eventually ran out of bounds before it hit the near post. So Lucko taking another goal kick, and they're going to let her take it as Vanden Heuvel was not able to get it in the air, and this one gets in the air a little bit. Still short of midfield. Karsten comes up with it. Karsten has Orweiler on her left, plays Orweiler. Orweiler's got the ball on the near side. Ball on her left foot. Couple defenders in front of her, low pressure. Now you're going to start seeing more pressure as Wheaton's moving more towards the top of the box. Karsten has it. Karsten with the ball on her right foot, cuts it over to her left, now plays over to Kopelman, who has it at the top corner of the box on the near side. Kopelman turns goal line, and now is going to try to get it to the near post or across the goal. She's dispossessed, and it's cleared up the middle of the field to Perwatt. Mosier's going to actually come up with it. Drops it back to Lidner. Lidner plays far side to Kleinstra. Kleinstra with the ball for Wheaton plays up to Delatorre. Delatorre rolls her foot over the top of the ball towards the middle of the field, then cuts it back and tries to play up to Lee or Berg. Doesn't get either one of them. Ball rolls back to Kleinstra. Kleinstra's got it near the top corner of the box on the far side, plays back to Delatorre, turns with it across her body, and then plays on the ground towards Kopelman. It's going to be cleared out, though, by Waterman. Back to Foltz, who's actually got the ball on the far side of the field. We've seen that a bit, as maybe they're marking players more than spaces right now. Orweiler takes the ball by a couple defenders, and she's got two more in front of her before she gets on goal. Goes by one of them, and then she's stopped by the second. And Spies tries to clear it out. Spies gets it up to Perwatt. Perwatt's got a little bit of space in front of her. Mosier charging and then trying to contain, and Spies goes by Mosier. Foltz covering for Mosier, and Foltz kicks it out of bounds before she's pushed down on the ground. And you'll see a sub on the next Wheaton throw. Ann Turner is going to come in on the next Wheaton throw. Right now it's Stevens' point throw. Throw goes in and out of bounds off Stevens' point, so Ann didn't have to wait too long. Turner's going to be checking in for Kopelman.
Number Wheaton, number 23, Ann Turner.
And for right now, it looks like she's here on the near side playing left midfield, as Kopelman was playing left forward. Wheaton will be moving Orweiler up to the attacking left side, so Orweiler is going to be playing forward on the left side. Spies with the ball in the middle of the field, drops it to Walsh. Walsh touches up, and Perwatt's running onto it now, just herself and Lidner. Walsh goes by Lidner. Erickson charging, Mosier covering, and Erickson comes up with the ball in the box for Wheaton. Rolls it out to Karsten. Karsten plays near side to Turner, just checking into the game. Turner playing left mid, plays a through ball on the ground up to Lee. Great ball. Lee running into the attacking third of the field and plays it on the ground across the box, and Lucko is going to come up with this as it rolls into her hands. Again, the battle of two pretty good teams here. Wheaton number 15 in the nation and Stevens Point number 10 in the nation, but you find out after a while that these rankings don't really even mean anything. You got to get to the tournament, and then you just start taking care of teams. Perwatt with the ball in the middle of the field near the top of the circle. Goes by Mosier. Now Kleinstra's covering. Perwatt plays over to Spies on the far side. Kleinstra trying to get out towards Spies. Spies plays the ball on the ground into the box, cleared out by Lidner. This is going to roll back to Cornelius. Cornelius drops it to Vanden Heuvel, playing sweeper for the Pointers. Vanden Heuvel's clearance goes up to Mosier. Mosier goes by one defender. Still with the ball. She's got Perwatt on her back. Now plays up to Delatorre. Delatorre plays with her left foot too far out in front for a chance on the through ball, and Lucko is going to come up with it for the Pointers. Lucko's punt goes past Delatorre, and now she's gets it back momentarily. Now Perwatt takes it and is trying to go by Karsten, and she does. Now playing it middle of the field towards Weiss, and Erickson's going to actually come up with it as it rolled past Weiss and Lidner and into her hands. Foltz with the ball on the near side in the defense for Wheaton. Plays back to Lidner in the middle of the field near the top of Wheaton's box. Lidner plays near the top corner of Wheaton's box on the far side to Mosier. Mosier plays up, and that's dispossessed by Walsh on the pass, and Walsh's pass is good step by Mosier. She comes up with it. and Walsh actually cannot keep the ball in bounds.
Jamie Herman.
We have Jamie Herman coming in for Wheaton Thunder. She'll be taking
Looks like Delatorre
off the field.
So they moved Herman to top left attack, and Delatorre was playing in the center mid position, so Orweiler will be playing her third position as she commits her first foul of the game. Orweiler is going to be playing center mid where Delatorre was previously playing. So Orweiler started this game out at left mid, moved up top to the top left-hand side where Herman is currently playing as Kopelman was subbed out, and then moved back to the midfield, but this time to the center of it. It's going to be a free kick for Vanden Heuvel, looking to play it into the box. Vanden Heuvel does play it into the box, won by Stevens Point, and the header goes back to Eriksson. As Eriksson comes up with it with about 10:30 left here in the first half, still scoreless. Eriksson's throw goes near side to Turner. Turner has it, plays middle of the field to Karsten. Karsten plays diagonal up to Orweiler. Both of them are playing in the midfield together. Now Orweiler back to Karsten on the ground, up across midfield. Karsten's going to let it roll to Turner. Turner's got it on her left foot, now plays it with her right foot over to Herman. Herman plays it in the air towards the top of the box, and that's cleared out by Vanden Heuvel. Up to Pruitt. Pruitt loses it to Lidner. Lidner with the ball on her left foot, cuts it back to her right foot, and now plays it over far side with her left foot to Kleinstra. Kleinstra plays line to Berg. Berg gets a ball in the air across the box, and that's going to be headed out, but to Kleinstra. Kleinstra comes up with it, and then it's cleared out once again. Karsten's going to have it. She's got Wise coming on her back, though. Now Wise slows up. Karsten with it, goes past one defender towards her left side, plays over to Lee. Lee with it at the top of the box, plays square, trying to hit Berg, and then it's going to be cleared out to Kleinstra, and Kleinstra's going to lose it to Spies. Spies coming towards the center of the field in the defending third still. And really no one to pass up to, as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, actually 8 at the time, 8 of Stevens Point's players were kind of waiting for everybody to step up all at once, and it's hard to pass up to a forward when they're just standing up there and the rest of your team is still behind the ball. Herman's got it on the goal line in the attacking third of the field, drops it to Turner. Turner's going to play a ball in the air across the box, and that's going to go drop on the ground in the box before it's cleared out towards Kleinstra. Kleinstra fakes a pass to the outside. Now she does, passes it to Berg. Orweiler showing in the middle of the field for Berg. Berg instead goes towards the top of the box to Lee. Lee with a little flick-on pass to Herman. It's going to be cleared out, headed back into play by Karsten over to Turner on the near side. Turner has it, plays it on the ground towards Lee, and that's going to be a good step by Vanden Heuvel, passing it back out to Karsten. So Wheaton just with a constant attack here. Herman with the ball, carrying it, plays middle of the field, and that's going to drop in the box, and before it's cleared out by Cornelius. Cornelius's clearance goes to Weiss. Weiss being defended by Turner, and Weiss is going to lose it out of bounds on the near side.
Checking in for Stevens Point, number 11, Lauren Spelling.
We have Lauren Spelling and
number 19,
number
Andrea
19,
Pfeiffer. And then for Wheaton, number 10, Erin Hodina. And
Andrea
number 14, Rebecca
Pfeiffer coming in for Stevens Point. And for Wheaton, we also had
Rebecca Oliver and Erin Hodina. At least that's what we were told. It looks like Hodina is going to be playing center forward as the ball rolls across the box, gets to Orweiler in the air in the box, and then it's going to go out of bounds. So Hodina is going to be playing up top in the middle, joined on her left by Herman and on her right by Berg. Across the midfield, you've got from left to right Turner, Orweiler, and Kleinstra. Playing behind Orweiler in the middle is Karsten. And in the back, you've got Foltz, who is going to be strictly marking Kaylee Weiss, the leading scorer of the Stevens Point team, and Rebecca Oliver, who is marking the second leading scorer, Amanda Pruitt. And then you've got Lidner, who is free to roam about in that sweeper position. Kleinstra with the ball in the attacking third of the field, plays into the box off of a Stevens Point player, and the Stevens Point player clears off of Kleinstra off the goal line for another goal kick.
We're once again scoreless at 6.5 minutes left in this first half.
And we do remind you that this game will be overlapping Wheaton Thunder football. So if you're listening to this on the radio right now, you're going to be transferred sometime during halftime or briefly into the second half to the football game. If you want to come back to this game, which we hope you do, you're going to go to wetn.org and click on the drop-down box that says Watch Live. Here's a long shot by Stevens Point, out of bounds, wide right of the goal. You're going to go to wetn.org, click on the drop-down box that says Watch Live, and you can select one of two options to watch this game live online. You'll have this feed streaming along with the video. Oliver has the ball now on the far side of the field, defending third, though, for Wheaton. Plays over to Lidner. Lidner with very little pressure as Weiss cuts off the pass to Foltz. Lidner goes back to Oliver on the far side. Oliver plays on the ground up to Berg. Berg has it still in Wheaton territory, plays negative to Karsten. Karsten with Weiss pressuring her. Karsten plays over to Foltz. Foltz is going to one-time it up and out of bounds as she had an attacking Andrea Pfeiffer just check into the game, pressuring her pretty hard. Throw to be taken by Waterman. Waterman's throw goes off the head of Orweiler as she got up in the air and won that. Orweiler heads it out of bounds. Pfeiffer is going to take this right at the midfield line on the near side. Throws it into Walsh. Walsh touches it up to Bischke. Then loses it to Turner, near side. Turner plays up to Herman. Herman one-times it middle of the field past Hodina. And that's going to run to Cornelius. Cornelius drops to Vandenheuvel. Vandenheuvel with pressuring Herman and Hodina on her. And Vandenheuvel's going to try to keep it inbounds, but Vandenheuvel tries to keep it from going inbounds, and Herman tapped it inbounds before it eventually rolls out of bounds on the goal line.
Checking in for Stevens Point, number 12.
Checking in for Stevens Point, we have Vicky Boyer coming in, Brittany Boyer, excuse me, coming in for Kaylee Weiss.
So both teams resting some of their starters near the end of the first half. Lucco's goal kick goes long to Foltz. Foltz clears it up to Herman and out of bounds on the near side. Throw taken by Waterman. Waterman's throw goes up to Boyer, dispossessed by Foltz, and Foltz kicks it back over her head behind her, out of bounds. Still Stevens Point territory. Pfeiffer to take the throw. Throw goes low and short to Boyer, who just checked into the game. Then Oliver clears it up to Vandenheuvel. Vandenheuvel pops it up in the air around midfield. It's going to come down onto the head of Ann Turner, and Turner headed it over towards both number 12s. So that would be Brittany Boyer and Foltz, and Foltz knocked Boyer to the ground on that header, so it's going to be a free kick. Free kick goes in, taken towards Bischke. Bischke drops it. Vandenheuvel has it in the defense for the Pointers. Vandenheuvel plays near side to Waterman. Waterman gets it right back to Vandenheuvel in the middle of the field. Good pressure by Hodina as she pressures Vandenheuvel into kicking it out of bounds. It's going to be Wheaton ball with about 3 minutes left. Turner takes the throw into Hodina. Hodina plays a great idea through ball to Herman, but it's going to be too far out in front of her for, it looked like a goal kick. So it will be a goal kick, another one for Lucco. Wheaton really with just a constant attack here in the first half, but still hasn't been able to put a goal through yet. Lucco's goal kick is taken. That's going to drop onto Orweiler's head. Orweiler has it up towards Walsh. Walsh's clearance is going to be taken and then given right back to her. Now Walsh plays it up towards Spies on the far side, and Spies is going to get it back off of a header. Plays it middle of the field, and then it's cleared out by Lidner, and that's going to go towards Berg. Berg tries to keep it in bounds, and does, but Stevens Point comes up with it. And that's actually not Spies, but Lauren Semling who checked into the game. And it's going to be a Stevens Point throw on the far side, and Semling, while she has not scored yet this year, and has not started yet this year. Has played in 6 of their 8 games thus far. She's taken 9 shots, and she's taken the most shots off the bench. Actually, she's taken the most shots she's got the 5th most amount of shots on this team. So you got to watch out for her coming off the bench too. Walsh drops it back to Van den Heuvel in the defense. Van den Heuvel's clearance goes up towards Semling, and Oliver's going to come up with it, plays it on the ground out of bounds on the far side. We knew this was going to be close. 2 very good teams. Still 0-0. About a minute left.
1 minute remaining in the first half. 1 minute.
In the first half. Kleinster's going to clear it down the line. And she's going to lose it to Bischke. Bischke drops it back to Walsh. Walsh loses it to Orweiler, and Orweiler passes up to Hodina, who kicked it out of bounds, but she was flattened by Cornelius before she was able to play that where she intended to. No call. Throw from Stevens Point goes into Karsten, and Karsten kicks it out of bounds. So Wheaton maybe trying to hold on with 30 seconds left as Stevens Point is in their attacking third of the field. Stevens Point throws it into the middle of the box, and Foltz heads it out towards Walsh. Walsh plays it in the air towards the middle of the box, and Wheaton's just got to try to keep this one to stay scoreless before halftime. Foltz clears it out in the air. About 12 seconds left now. Turner comes down with it. Turner plays it up, and then it's cleared back out of bounds by Stevens Point. So that should do it for the first half.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And at halftime, your score is Wheaton College 0, UW Stevens Point 0. Both teams ranked in the top 25 of the NSCAA's coaching poll. Wheaton at 15, Stevens Point at 10. We're going to give you the stats when you come back, actually. Blair, what do you think of that first half as far as Wheaton's performance?
Both teams very strong offensively. We saw a lot of that back and forth, constant attack from Wheaton, especially the second half, the ending part of that first half. And I think we can look to see a lot more shots coming from UW in this second half, and maybe another hat trick from one of their seniors.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, it's possible though. Wheaton done a good job defending so far. Again, your score at half 0-0. Wheaton and UW Stevens Point. I'm Noah Helm alongside Blair Malcolm, and for now, we'll send you back to Zach in the studio.
All right, so Wheaton and Wisconsin Stevens Point play to a scoreless draw at halftime. Wheaton seemed to control much of the play in the first half with numerous opportunities at the net. Both defenses held steady, though, giving us our halftime score, 0-0. As mentioned earlier, we'll be taking you live to the Wheaton College football game at Hope College around 6 p.m. At that time, you can continue watching the women's soccer game on WETN TV and on our video streams online at WETN.org. In the meantime, we'll be right back with an update about the Wheaton men's soccer team here on WETN.
This fall, the Wheaton College women's soccer team takes the field as defending national champions.
Plays it to Orweiler. Orweiler's got it in front of the goal. Goal for the Wheaton Thunder. Jamie Orweiler, the freshman, with the first goal of the season. And Lee has it now, running one-on-one with the goalie, off of a pass from Orweiler. Lee's going for her 4th goal here. She plays it with her left foot, far post, goal, Taryn Lee.
As the Wheaton men's team makes their tournament push with aspirations of November glory.
Keeper's calling for it. Risma has it. Back to Gillette. Gillette plays it into the goal.
Risma has it in the middle of the box. Temesco back to Risma. Risma puts it in the goal. Wheaton just put another one through, and the lead is now 4-0.
Don't miss any of the action. Tune in this fall to catch every Wheaton College soccer game on WETN Wheaton College Radio.
I mean, that's about all you can say about that one. Wow.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Klimchak.
We'll take 2 peanut brittles. Raising money for school?
No, picking on your kid at school.
What? Our Henry?
I'm the class bully.
Well, forget the peanut brittle.
Look, I'm not gonna pull any punches. Get it? But every day, I start fights with your kid on the playground.
But you...
I take his lunch money.
Honey, what do we do?
What do we do?
Hey, I've got some answers.
It's McGruff, the crime dog.
Bullies don't just walk up and introduce themselves. When kids worry about bullying, you have to read the clues. They may not want to go to school. Their grades may drop.
Our Henry hasn't mentioned a bully.
That's another thing. Kids don't want to talk about it.
I don't mean to twist your arm. Sorry. But you might want to get involved.
Well...
Oops, late for lunch. Gotta trip a kid with his tray.
How do you stop bullies? Well, with words, to your kids, school administrators, other concerned parents, and by going to McGruff.org.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
I was up all night last night trying to figure out what to do for this radio spot for Wheaton College. They want me to encourage people to attend more events at Wheaton College, but I don't understand what kind of events they want. They didn't tell me. There's so much going on campus. I should just pick one thing. These guys should be able to help me out. Good morning, gentlemen. Let's get down to business, shall we? Now, you all know why we're here. We need to produce a radio spot for Wheaton College to encourage people to come to Wheaton College events. Are there any ideas?
Well, sir, why don't we encourage people to go to Wheaton College sporting events such as basketball, volleyball, golf, cross-country, soccer, and football?
That's a great idea. But how would we go about doing that?
Well, sir, it sounds something like this. For good family fun, grab yourself a Coke and a hot dog and come support the Wheaton men and women as they take on teams from across the country. You can check out the sports schedule online at wheaton.edu/athletics. That's wheaton.edu/athletics. Come cheer on the Thunder.
Long ago, in the land of Middle-earth, rings of power were forged. And Aslan said, "Courage, courage, dear heart. All that is asked of us is to decide what to do with the time that is given to us." Discover the magic and extraordinary writings of J.R.R. Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, G.K. Chesterton, and more at the Marion E. Wade Center of Wheaton College. The Wade Center houses authentic papers, books, and a museum of 7 well-known British authors and is open to the public. To find out more, visit wheaton.edu/Wade Center or call 630-752-5908. The Wade Center, where magic awaits at every corner.
Wheaton College men's soccer kicked off its conference season by defeating North Park 2-1 on Friday. The Thunder improved to 6-2-1 and 1-0 in the CCIW, while the Vikings fell to 5-5 overall and 0-1 in the conference. Coming into the game, North Park had won 4 of the last 6 matches between the two rivals. The Vikings won the CCIW title in 2004 to break the Thunder's string of 9 straight titles and went on to win 3 consecutive titles of their own. While his current class of seniors has yet to win a regular season CCIW championship, Wheaton head coach Mike Giuliano said it was imperative that the team get off to a good start in conference play. The rivalry got added drama on Friday because it was North Park's homecoming game and the host drew about 1,000 vocal fans to cheer them on. Jonathan Lichty scored the opening goal on a penalty kick. North Park tied it late, but Stephen Mesko scored the game winner late in the second half. Wheaton will travel to Rock Island for a match Tuesday versus Augustana at 7:30 p.m.
We're all looking for things to make us happy. The problem with living for a moment of pleasure is that it's so short. It's like waiting in line for 4 hours at an amusement park for a ride that lasts only 2 or 3 minutes. You anxiously wait for the weekend to go drinking, to go partying, to see your girlfriend or your boyfriend. And yet, in all this activity, you know that deep down inside of you, something is missing. That something is a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. You say, what do I have to do? Well, first you must repent of sin. Come to the cross and say, oh God, I have sinned against you, and I'm sorry that I've done it. I'm willing to change my way of living, and ask Him to come into your life to take over, to help you change your way of life. You'll be a new person, and you'll find long-lasting joy. If you'd like to be a new person and experience true joy, then begin a relationship with Jesus Christ. Call 1-888-NEED-HIM. Someone is ready to help you. Call 888-NEED-HIM.
Hello.
Is Joey home?
Joey, the door.
Joseph!
Yeah?
Hello, son. I'm Dean Rubin from college. I'm here to invite you to join us this fall.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a day!
Well, we've reviewed your application.
Give me an E!
No, wait. Right, you didn't actually fill out an application.
I didn't think I had to.
You know what? That's fine. Because your algebra grade certainly... No? Wait, you didn't actually take...
Well, no one told me I was supposed to...
whatever. You really want to go to college, and we really want to have you.
Joey, out of bed.
Hey, wake up. You can't dream your way into college. There are actual steps you need to take. For all the steps, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers. In speech, in life, in love, and in purity. 1 Timothy 4:12. In society today, many times it seems that things are falling apart all around us. It's hard to find stable ground to trust in and build foundations upon. Wheaton College seeks to continue building up the church and improving society worldwide. This institution of higher Christian education has remained true to its morals, striving to encourage people and build them up for the kingdom of heaven. Wheaton College promotes the development of whole and effective Christians for Christ and His kingdom. For more information about Wheaton College, please call 630-752-5000. That's 752-5000.
This fall, the Wheaton College women's soccer team takes the field as defending national champions.
Plays it to Orweiler. Orweiler's got it in front of the goal. Goal for the Wheaton Thunder. Jamie Orweiler, the freshman, with the first goal of the season. And Lee has it now, running one-on-one with the goalie, off of a pass from Orweiler. Lee's going for her fourth goal here. She plays it with her left foot, far post, goal, Taryn Lee.
As the Wheaton men's team makes their tournament push with aspirations of November glory.
Keeper's calling for it. Rizma has it. Back to Gillette. Gillette plays it into the goal.
Rizma has it in the middle of the box. Temesco back to Rizma. Rizma puts it in the goal. Wheaton just put another one through, and the lead is now 4-0.
Don't miss any of the action. Tune in this fall to catch every Wheaton College soccer game on WETN Wheaton College Radio.
I mean, that's about all you can say about that one. Wow.
All right. Step right up. Come one, come all. This is the place where you can choose which way to God is best for you. Don't be closed-minded. Open up to all the options. All roads lead to God, right? It's all about what works for you. Come on.
You've heard that said time after time. Truth is what you make it, or truth is what works for you. But did you know that there is absolute truth? The one true God who made the universe made it clear in His Bible that this truth is found in Jesus. Jesus Himself said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. And that's because no other religious leader can take away your sin, those disobedient and selfish deeds, except Jesus. He died on the cross to pay the penalty for your sins and rose from the dead to give you new life. To find out the truth and learn how to begin a relationship with Jesus, call 888-NEED-HIM. That's 888-NEED-HIM.
The Wheaton Thunder volleyball team opened the first day of action in its own Wheaton Invitational with a pair of victories on Friday. Wheaton opened the tournament with a 3-1 win against Cornell College and defeated Lakeland 3-0 in one of the final matches of the night. Wisconsin Stevens Point was the other tournament participant to go 2-0 in the tournament's first day. The Thunder will face the Pointers at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning in one of the 3 opening round matches to open the tournament's second day. In the first round, Wheaton topped Cornell 3-1. Sophomore Ashley Pace led the Thunder with 13 kills and 34 service receptions on 35 attempts. Senior Lisa Judson contributed 12 kills with 14 digs and 3 assisted blocks, while freshman Hannah Haskell recorded 9 kills. Hannah McGinnis and Keith Miller each tallied 8 kills. Freshman setter Jenna McAllister distributed 40 assists with 21 digs. The Thunder closed out Friday's play with a 3-0 victory against Lakeland. Pace led Wheaton with 9 kills, 24 service receptions, and 11 digs, while Judson added 5 kills with 9 digs. McAllister recorded a team-high 22 assists with 12 digs and 3 assisted blocks. McKennis tallied 6 total blocks in the match. Now we're going to send it back out to Noah Helm and Blair Malcolm for all the action from the second half of today's game between Wisconsin-Stevens Point and the Wheaton Thunder women's soccer team. Back to you, Noah.
Welcome to Joe Bean Stadium, where your women's Wheaton Thunder soccer team are taking on the Pointers of University of Wisconsin at Stevens Point. Here we are coming into the second half. It is scoreless on both sides. And Noah, you want to take a look at the stats first?
Yeah, let's get the stats for the first half. Wheaton really playing, I mean, you probably can't play much better than we're playing right now possession-wise.
That's true.
We've had the ball almost the entire first half. We're out-shooting the Pointers 14-2 in the first half. Problem is, of those 14 shots, only 3 of them were on goal. All 3 of those were saved. Taryn Lee with 4 shots, 2 on goal. Delatorre had a shot on goal. Kleinstra had a shot. And then Karsten, Berg, Orweiler, and Kolpelman each with 2 shots in the first half. For Stevens Point, Prowett had a shot, and then Leah Larson had that shot on goal that Erickson made a fantastic save on. If she had not sprawled out and took that one in the stomach, we would be trailing 1-0 right now. Again, Wheaton out-shooting the Pointers 14-2 in the first half. Pam Lucko with 3 saves in the first half for Stevens Point, and Erickson again with the 1 save. Fouls. The referee has let them play for the most part. Only 3 fouls called in the first half, 2 on Wheaton and 1 on Stevens Point. And corner kicks, this is usually an area where we see Wheaton thoroughly dominating.
Thoroughly.
And today it is 1-1 at half for corner kicks, each team with just 1 corner kick. And there are probably about 250, 300 people out here for the beginning of the second half.
And we do want to remind you that at 6 o'clock, this radio broadcast will be switching over to the Wheaton Thunder football team. And you can continue to hear this broadcast online at WETN.org. Click on the drop-down tab that says Watch Now.
That's right. And Wheaton will be running left to right on your radio dial for the second half. Stevens Point starts out with the ball, and they're going to drop it immediately to their back and then clear it up towards Bischke. She's dispossessed by Kolpelman. Kolpelman tries to get it up to Lee. Lee is trying to win the ball from Musbach, and it's going to go out of bounds for a Wheaton throw on the near side. The throw is going to be taken by Kolpelman, and she's going to throw it long into the box. Lee probably checking a little shorter than everyone else. Kolpelman's throw goes into Lee. Lee with an attempted flick on header. Now ball rolls out of bounds. And there we go. We're going to see a Wheaton corner kick with just over 30 seconds elapsed here in the first half. So we talk about corners being something we usually dominate, and we're not. There we go. We got one now. Corner kick is taken short to Orweiler. Orweiler drops to Kolpelman. Kolpelman rounds it up toward the top to Mosier. Mosier plays the ball into the middle of the box. Then it's cleared out by Walsh. It's going to go out of bounds on the near side, and it's going to be ruled a throw for Stevens Point. In the backfield for Wheaton, you're going to see Lidner at the sweeper position. Foltz is back into the game, headband and all, and she's going to be marking Prowett. And then Mosier is here on the near side, marking Weiss, most likely, for the second half. So that's your defense. Across the midfield on the far side, Turner stays in the game at left mid. Over on the right side midfield, you've got Jamie Orweiler, so she played 3 positions back to her original one. Carson's got the ball right now in the middle of the field playing center mid, but she's playing behind Delatorre, who's playing more of an attacking center mid. And then across the top of the field, we're going to see Kleinstra getting some time at forward at top left. Then right now in the center is Kolpelman, and Lee is on the right side of the field, but we'll see if that changes. Likely it'll be switching up throughout the first half, throughout the second half. Another corner for Wheaton.
And that's with a little less than 43 minutes left, so just 2 minutes have elapsed.
That's right. Corner kick played short again to Kleinstra. Kleinstra tries to cut it back through a defender. Off the defender back to Turner. Turner lays it back to Delatorre. Delatorre up to Kleinstra, who has it near the top corner of the box, plays it middle of the field, and that's going to be cleared out. But before, or actually during the clearance, offsides call, and that was Taryn Lee, offsides by a step or two. So Musbach will take the, actually she'll leave it for Lucko to take. Lucko, the goalkeeper for Stevens Point, going to take this kick. Plays it on the ground up the middle of the field to Lee. She really has not been able to get the ball in the air today. Lee has the ball with her back to the goal, drops it back to Karsten. Karsten plays Delatorre. Delatorre has Lee running into the middle of the box, doesn't play her, instead cuts it back, plays Mosier. Mosier with the ball on her right foot, about 30 yards out, plays a long ball in the air into the box, into the hands of Lucko as she comes up with it. That will not constitute a shot, as Mosier was trying to find an attacker in the box. Almost found Lee. Turner with the ball on the far side of the field, plays on the ground up to Lee, and Lee plays square to Karsten, who may have a shot, and she's going to let it continue rolling. Top corner of the box, near side, Karsten with the ball. Now cuts it back towards the middle of the field and then loses it, and that's Cornelius coming up out of the backfield with it for Stevens Point. Cornelius tries to clear up to Pruett, but Lidner clears it right back. And then it comes right back down Wheaton's throat. Pruett with the ball, and then Mosier clears it out of bounds on the near side, just on Stevens Point's side of midfield for a throw. About 41 minutes left, still scoreless. Wheaton and Stevens Point. Wheaton in the first half had 12 more shots than Stevens Point. Trying to put one through here early in the second half. Turner has the ball on the far side, bringing it up on the ground across midfield. She's got Delatorre in the middle, tries to find her, but could not split the defenders as Stevens Point comes up with it. And the ball's played up towards Pruett, but Mosier's going to come up with it. She's got Orweiler on the line and tries to go by her. It's going to be deflected out of bounds off Pruett for a throw for Mosier. Mosier's got Karsten in the middle of the field and throws to her. Karsten traps it with her thigh and then passes middle of the field to Delatorre. Delatorre's got Turner on her left and instead plays it all the way up top on the far side on the left to Kleinstra. With it in the attacking third of the field, steps over the ball, now going towards the goal line, takes the goal line, now cuts it back, plays it to Lee. Lee turns goal line. She plays negative across the box and cleared out before Kopelman could get a touch on it to direct it in the goal. Good ball movement by Wheaton, almost resulted in a goal. Orweiler has it. Meg Spies, and then goes around her and couldn't follow it up with possession as it's cleared back to Mosier. Mosier plays it on the ground to Lidner. Lidner with the ball goes past Weiss, and now trying to go past Pruett, tries to play far side to Turner. Turner couldn't understand that the ball was going to her. A little bit of miscommunication as Stevens Point came up with it momentarily. Then Mosier clears it out from the near side out of bounds all the way upfield, and it's going to be a throw for Stevens Point. Throw goes into Delatorre, actually. Delatorre thought about playing it back, now cuts it back towards the middle of the field between Weiss and Pruett. Plays it up to Lee. Lee with the ball near the top of the circle for Wheaton. She's got a defender coming on hard. Now plays it far side to Turner. The defender still running now on Turner. Turner plays up to Kopelman. Kopelman has Delatorre to her right, Lee to her left. Kopelman with the ball near the top of the box, plays Lee. Lee gets it right back to, trying to get it back to Kopelman. Spies comes up with it instead and clears it out of bounds. It's going to be a throw for Wheaton. Throw is taken in towards Kopelman, back to Orweiler. Orweiler goes by one defender. She's got it on the goal line, plays it back across the middle of the field, and then it is past Kopelman and pops straight up in the air, still in the box. Orweiler goes down in the box, no call. As coming out is Musbach. Musbach loses it to Delatorre. Delatorre goes by Musbach, plays it on the ground, in the box to Lee. Lee trying to get it past a defender and the goalie, but it's going to roll out of bounds as she was bumped a little bit by Vandenheuvel. No call, and it'll be a goal kick for the Pointers. Lucko takes the kick, and again on the ground up the middle of the field. She really cannot find her team, but this time her team wins it from her in the middle of the field, and that is Bischke with it. Bischke tries to get it up to Weiss, and Mosier kicks it out of bounds. So this throw is going to be taken by Spies on the near side of the field, coming up on the attacking third. And the throw goes in towards the middle of the field, and Fultz clears it. This is going to bounce around midfield. Lee with a flick on header. Van den Heuvel comes up with it, one-times it up to Walsh. Delatorre steps in front of Walsh and wins the ball from her, then goes by one defender, and then Walsh comes back and recovers. And Walsh plays it backwards to Van den Heuvel. Van den Heuvel back up to Walsh. Orweiler comes up with it. Orweiler wins it in the air. Now Walsh wins it in the air. Spies with it on the near side. Kopelman comes in and helps out Orweiler as Wheaton comes up with possession. Orweiler plays Delatorre in the middle of the field. Delatorre keeps it rotating and plays all the way far side of the field to Turner. Turner plays in the air towards the top of the box, goes past Van den Heuvel. If someone had been continuing a run towards the far post, Wheaton would have had a nice opportunity as it went right past the sweeper. And long punt taken out of the air by Fultz. Bounces once after Fultz's header, and then splitting a pair of defenders is Stevens Point before Lidner clears it. Up and out of bounds on the far side, right around midfield. Throw taken by Stevens Point pretty quickly. Goes down the line to Fultz. Fultz is going to kick it out of bounds. And we'll do it all over again, move up a few yards.
36 minutes left in this game with a score of 0-0.
And the throw goes in, and Lidner's going to let it roll past her to Erickson as Erickson called her off. Erickson taking in her options. Now she punts it. It's going to bounce a little short of midfield, then up to Lee. Lee with good positioning on the defender, turns by her, and she's got Kleinstra and Kopelman. Gives it to Kopelman near the top corner of the box on the near side. Kopelman trying to go by one defender towards the goal line, being bodied off of the ball. And that was, she's dispossessed momentarily, then comes up with it again. Orweiler has it. Orweiler tries to pass middle of the field, and then it's cleared out. Delatorre is going to try to get to this before Pruitt does. She can't, but Fultz does, and then Fultz kicks it out of bounds on the far side. It's going to be a Stevens Point throw in Stevens Point territory. Throw goes into Walsh, and Walsh kicks it off of Delatorre, rolls back to Kleinstra. Kleinstra passes back to Karsten. Karsten has it in the middle of the field now. Plays square to Mosier, running up into the attack a little bit. She's got space in front of her. She's got Lee and Delatorre. She takes a shot, and that's going to go wide of the goal. So Mosier trying to put one in from far out. You never know.
2-0 left. It looked as she had been a little more to the right, it would have been more effective.
That's right. She put it a little wide left of the frame. Good attempt from that distance. Even if you put it on frame, even if you put it off frame and the keeper comes out and tries to handle it and is unable to, your forward's going to have a nice little treat waiting for him. Long ball played up to Kopelman. Kopelman has it near the top corner of the box, near side once again, lays it back to Orweiler. Orweiler with two defenders converging on her, tries to split him with a pass, gets deflected. Orweiler running back now, regains possession of the ball. Passes to Karsten near the top of the circle for Wheaton. Karsten to Turner. Turner with a little one-timer to Kleinstra, rather, on the far side of the field. Kleinstra coming middle of the field, has a couple options, but sees those go away as the defender steps. Fultz comes back and touches it right back up to Kleinstra. Kleinstra plays middle of the field to Delatorre. Delatorre one-timer to Lee. Lee with it in the middle of the box on her left foot, tries to take a strike, and she's just converged by defenders. Kopelman comes up with it in the box, puts a shot wide of the goal, and Kleinstra's going to have it in the box, touches towards the goal line, plays it back across the box to Orweiler, who has it right in front of the goal, to Lee, and then it's going to roll into the hands of Lucko.
Wow. That's all I can say.
Lots and lots of back and forth across the box. Wheaton with possession for probably a good 10, 12 seconds right in front of the goal trying to get something on.
They were able to just keep recovering the ball and just keep going at it.
That's right. Lidner with the ball now goes past Weiss and then passes past Pruitt. Past Pruitt, rather. Kleinstra with the ball on the far side. Attacking third of the field now for Wheaton. She's got two defenders on her, cuts it back, wise decision. Play away from pressure, she plays to Turner. Turner's going to play middle of the field to Karsten, who steps up. One defender in front of her, that's Walsh. Karsten tries to go past Walsh, now lays it back to Delatorre. Delatorre with a long strike, and that's going to go just over the crossbar.
Number 12, Brittany Boyer.
We have Brittany Boyer coming in for Stevens Point at this point. She'll be taking, I believe, Bishki off of the field.
That's right. Boyer having appeared in all 8 games so far. And Beachke does check out. She's got 4 goals and 4 assists on the season, so it's definitely nice when you see one of their key players take a break, however short it may be. Let's see if Wheaton can capitalize. Delatorre with the ball in the middle of the field, plays square to Mosier. Mosier has it on her right foot, tries to go by Boyer, now plays it up to Kopelman. Kopelman turning around to face the goal, passes to Orweiler. Orweiler has it near the top corner of the box, slide tackle from behind. Orweiler does not go down, no call. Walsh comes up with it for Stevens Point and clears it upfield to Lidner, who has it in the back for Wheaton. Lidner telling her backs to spread out, give her some options. She plays Mosier on the near side. Mosier passes the ball on the ground up across midfield to Lee. Lee has it, takes 1 touch, 2 touch. Now she's dispossessed for a second. And Spies clears it. Spies clears it to Karsten, though. Karsten trying to go past Pruitt, and then she loses it. As really, Stevens Point looks to be content with trying to just pack the box in and maybe take a tie out of this. Here's a long shot by Karsten that's going to go just wide of the goal.
Checking in for Wheaton, number 6, Brittany Berg.
And now Brittany Berg will be coming in for Wheaton, and she'll be taking Kopelman off of the field.
So getting some fresh legs on now as Berg had a short rest.
Right.
About 31 minutes left in the second half. Wheaton Thunder and the Pointers of Stevens Point tied at 0 still. Mosier with the ball around midfield. She gets knocked down, no call. And this is some numbers now for Stevens Point. Backtracking is Wheaton, and Orweiler comes up with it for a second. Now Stevens Point plays it into Wheaton's box, and that's Larson with a shot, and that's going to go in the goal past Erickson. So Larson had a shot on Erickson earlier, and she puts her second shot of the game in the goal, as that all started on the near side of the field when Mosier was knocked to the ground, and there was, unfortunately for Wheaton, no call, and that gave Stevens Point numbers the other way.
So there'll be 30 minutes left. 30 minutes left in this second half. The score is 1-0 in favor of Stevens Point, and we'll remind you that in 15 minutes, this radio broadcast will switch to the Wheaton Thunder football team, and you need to go online to finish hearing it.
Unless, of course, you're already watching it online or you're watching it on TV.
On TV.
Right. Turner has it. She plays middle of the field, and that gives Stevens Point almost even more incentive to just sit back and play low pressure and try to absorb all of Wheaton's attack and just play for counters, because it worked once, and also it's going to be harder for Wheaton to score if they continue playing like this. Again, about half an hour left in the second half. Wheaton has outshot Stevens Point by far today, but Stevens Point coming up with the first goal. Ball played back across the middle of the field, and Delatorre had a shot just wide of the goal from about the 6-yard box.
18, Mary Beth Grove.
Now Mary Beth Grove will be coming into this game for the Thunder, and
she's going to get Ann Turner.
Mary Beth Grove, I believe, had her first goal of the season, her second goal of the season, excuse me, earlier this week.
That's right. And Grove is going to come in the right midfield position, moving Orweiler over to the left side, and Turner comes off the field. She had previously occupied that left mid position. Ball's in the air in the middle of the field. Stevens Point has it. Walsh has it at her feet now. Walsh plays it to Cornelius. Cornelius plays up the field to Pruitt. Pruitt tries to go by Fultz, and she does. This is numbers again for Stevens Point. Ball goes towards the middle of the field towards Weiss and past her. Mosier comes up with it, has it in the box for Wheaton. Plays up to Kleinstra. Kleinstra has it and plays past 2 defenders up to Lee. Lee lays it over far side as Orweiler's trying to get there before it goes out of bounds, and Vandenheuvel's going to clear it out of bounds before Orweiler gets there. So Orweiler will take a throw on the far side of the field. Throw goes into Delatorre, touch right back to Orweiler. Orweiler with Larson in front of her. Larson with the game's only goal so far for Stevens Point. Orweiler goes past one defender. Now Larson staying on her. Orweiler plays across the field off of a defender, out of bounds. Corner kick, Wheaton College. Looking to tie this game up at 1. Orweiler and Delatorre will be lining up over the corner. Wheaton just trying to get one through the goal right now. Ball played in the air across the field. Berg comes up with it and puts a shot on goal on the ground to Lucko. Lucko rolls it out through a myriad of people and somehow finds a teammate. Ball rolls all the way back now to Lindner. Lindner one-times it up in the air across midfield to Delatorre. Delatorre plays in the air almost over the head of Vanden Heuvel. Couldn't get it past her, though. And it's going to be a foul called on Walsh in the middle of the field. Delatorre is going to have a free kick. Plays it near side to Grove. Grove with the ball on the near side. Plays it up to Lee. Lee with one defender on her back. Turns past that defender. Then gets pushed a little bit and no call again as they're being physical with her in the box, knowing that the referee will probably not call a penalty kick on something so trivial in the box. Just kind of knocking her off balance a little bit. It's going to be a throw on the near side for Wheaton. Throw goes from Grove to Lee. Lee has it on the near side, steps over the ball. Now taking it down the line a little bit, and it's going to go out of bounds for a Stevens Point throw. Again, Stevens Point leading this game 1-0 with about 26 minutes left in regulation. Headed out by Walsh. Grove wins Walsh's header. Comes down now to the ground to Karsten. Karsten plays on the ground up to Kleinstra. Kleinstra goes by one defender, now two defenders coming near the top corner of the box. Plays over to Berg. Berg puts a ball in the air across the box, off of the keeper and over the goal.
Corner kick.
Thought she might deflect that in the goal for a second.
That's what it looked like.
Corner Wheaton. So Wheaton getting their fair share of corners in the second half, as this is already maybe the fourth corner of the second half, fifth of the game. Six total. Thank you, Mr. McCaskey.
I was not saying anything about total. 4 total.
4 total. Okay.
I was saying 6 took it.
6 took it. Right. So Berg took that corner. It's going to actually be a Wheaton throw now on the near side of the field. Ball rolls middle of the field towards Grove. Grove touches it to Delatorre. Swarms and swarms of Pointer players as all 11 players are behind the ball. Foltz plays it up to Orweiler on the far side, that left midfield position. Orweiler has it going towards the top of the box. Plays middle of the field on the ground to Kleinstra. Kleinstra hits it past the keeper and out of bounds. It's actually going to be off the keeper for another corner.
Corner Wheaton.
Wheaton trying to capitalize. Possession, Blair, has been in Wheaton's favor this whole game.
Yes, and shots. Beating them on shots as well. But the score is still 1-0 in favor of Stevens Point.
Delatorre plays the ball across the box to Lee. Lee tries to touch it towards the goal and loses it. It's going to be out of bounds on the far side after clearance for a Wheaton throw. Orweiler takes the throw into Delatorre pretty quickly. Delatorre trying to turn goal line. Goes off of a defender for another Wheaton corner.
Corner kick.
Delatorre and Orweiler once again lining up over this one. Will they play long? Yes, they will. Corner played long and headed out by the Stevens Point defense. Up to Boyer. Boyer clears it up to nobody. It's going to go all the way back to Lindner. Lindner has it on the near side and plays off of Pruitt and out of bounds. It's going to be a throw for Wheaton, and Grove should take this throw. Throw goes into Berg. Berg lets it run by her all the way back into the backfield for Stevens Point. Musbach clears it. Karsten wins it in the air. Middle of the field. Lee comes up with it. Lee finds Berg. Berg coming in from the near side, cuts it back, and then a good D by Spies, dispossessing Berg for a second. Now Berg goes goal line, plays it negative across the goal, and that's going to be cleared out by Walsh. Walsh clearance goes to Mosier. Mosier plays past one sliding defender and plays far side to Orweiler. Orweiler with the ball in the box now, far side. And again, we don't see too much excitement even. You might not be hearing too much excitement even though Wheaton's in the box from our voices. It's because almost all of Stevens Point players are in the box trying. I mean, we got Lauren Lindner now in the attacking third of the field. It's it's unbelievable that they're just completely packing it in. It's a wise move because it's making it difficult to score.
Mm-hmm.
Grove takes a throw on the near side. Throw goes into Kleinstra. Kleinstra gets flattened. And this could be dangerous for Wheaton as we get a free kick, probably, let's see, 9 yards off the goal line on the near side of the field, just outside of the box. Mosier takes the kick in the air towards Lee, over Lee to Delatorre. Delatorre loses it to the defense, and it's a wall in there. Let me tell you, every time the ball is going to come down in the box, there's going to be 3 or 4 Stevens Point players right there ready to collect it. About 22-20, let's wait for it, 22-22 left in the second half. Orweiler has the ball around midfield, drops it to Foltz. Foltz plays in the air up across midfield, trying to hit Kleinstra. It's going to be won instead by Waterman. Waterman touches it up, and it's going to go in the air towards midfield to Weiss. Weiss lays it back to Walsh. Walsh clears it up, and it's going to be headed back by Foltz. Delatorre wins it. Delatorre plays far side to Foltz. Foltz plays in the air up past Kleinstra, and it's going to be cleared back again towards midfield. Karsten trying to come up with it as the defense just passing the midfield for a little bit there. Now the midfield comes up with it in the form of Mary Beth Grove, who's got one defender in front of her, plays line towards Lee. Lee has it attacking third of the field, cuts back, now plays square, and Walsh comes up with it. Walsh with a short pass to Spies. Spies with a one-timer to Weiss. Weiss passes up now to Pruett, and Pruett's got a 1-on-2. She's trying to beat Foltz and Lidner. Little juke over the ball. Trying to go past Foltz, goes by Foltz, and Lidner comes in hard and wins the ball and the body on that one. Great tackle by Lauren. Stevens Point still with the ball, though, in the attacking third of the field. Boyer plays far side to Larson, who has the game's only goal. Again, 1-0, Stevens Point with about 21 minutes left. Ball goes into Weiss in the center of the box, and Lidner clears it out. Back to Larson. Larson being defended by Orweiler. Orweiler drops it back to Walsh. Walsh back to, actually a step by Orweiler, dispossessed Stevens Point, and Kleinstra gives it to Lee. Lee, if she can get a big switch, she's going to have Berg one-on-one with a defender. Lee burning down the far sideline, puts it in the air with her left foot, across the goal, off the post, and into the goal. I don't know how she scored from that angle. She was almost out of bounds.
That was ridiculous.
She put that cross in the air, almost from the corner flag.
Yes.
Let's just call it she was falling out of bounds. She played it with her left foot. With her right foot,
man.
Maybe I see that happening because you're putting some sort of a spin on the ball. But that tailed back towards the goal, went over the keeper, off the far post. How you hit anything from that angle, I have no idea. Goes off of that post and ricochets back across to tie this one up at 1.
And that was Taryn Lee's 9th goal of the season. And
for number 16, Taryn Lee.
I mean, it looked like she might have been playing to Berg there, but who cares? That's one of the most amazing goals you'll ever see. If we have highlights by the end of the season, you need to see that. And Wheaton follows it up with another goal. In a span of about 45 seconds, Wheaton has taken this game over.
Got about 500 fans going crazy out here.
Looked like that was scored by Kleinstra as Herman checks into the game.
And Kopelman came in for Berg after Taryn's goal.
Do we even have time to breathe here after that?
I don't know. I'm scared to look away.
This whole game we've been dominating, and all of a sudden we go down a goal and then score 2 goals in 5 seconds. Is that possible? Oh my goodness. Wheaton with a 2-1 lead. What a turn of events early in the late in the mid-second half. This is really a phenomenal game to be watching. All of these fans.
We're about 3 minutes out from switching over to.
It was scored by Lee. So Lee gets her 10th goal of the season.
That was Lee?
Yeah.
Incredible.
It was a mob of players in the middle of the box, and I couldn't exactly see who touched it in, and it was from Grove to Lee. So if you're talking statistics here, that's Lee's 10th goal of the season, and Grove, who has 2 goals on the season, that's her first assist of the season. Kopelman with the ball near the top corner of the box. Is Wheaton going to keep this attack on? Plays it middle of the field towards Walsh. Walsh is going to clear it up. And the referee with a nimble move to avoid that one. Turner comes up with it, plays Kleinstra far side. Kleinstra has it coming down the field, plays it in the air towards the goal. Why not? Everything's already happened right now. That's going to go out of bounds, though, for a goal kick. Omar sitting next to me, he can't help but smile. Muy bueno. See.
Direct quote.
Goal kick to be taken by Lucco. Wheaton with a 2-1 lead with about 19 minutes left in the second half. Orweiler with the ball passes up to Kopelman. Kopelman has it, goes past one defender, now has it near the goal line, cuts it back. She's got Grove behind her. Grove looking to play a ball into the box, plays it in the box, and that's going to be stepped by Stevens Point. Looked like a handball in the box, and that's going to be the referee's going to call it just outside the box. Doesn't want to give Wheaton a penalty kick. And it is going to be on the line. And Mosier's going to take this as the wall backs up to give Mosier 10 yards. Mosier's free kick goes straight into the hands of the keeper, and then the keeper bobbles it. Now it's going to be cleared out near side. Kopelman trying to win it from Stevens Point. It's going to go out of bounds for a Wheaton throw. And all of us, as the ball goes out of bounds, taking a breath just for a moment there as Orweiler passes it to Kopelman. Kopelman keeps it going towards the middle of the box, and then it's cleared out. All 11 players behind the ball for Stevens Point. Wheaton in the attacking third of the field. Now they've got 8 or 9 players behind the ball. Kleinstra with it. Kleinstra drops back to Foltz. Foltz plays in the air to the middle of the field towards Mosier and Turner. Neither can come up with it as Weiss comes up with it, and then Foltz wins a header on the far side. Now coming down the field is Larson. Larson plays up to Weiss. Mosier steps in and wins it. And Mosier and Bischke are battling for it. Turner comes up with it right in the middle of the center circle and plays it far side to Kleinstra, dribbling up across midfield. Kleinstra plays up to Herman, who checked into the game just after that second goal. Herman plays on the ground towards the box to Lee, and it's going to be cleared out for a throw for Wheaton. I have to be honest, I did not know it was possible to score 2 goals in that short amount of time.
Never seen it.
Kleinstra takes the ball goal line. Tries to play back to Orweiler. It's going to be cleared out once again, though, for another Wheaton throw in.
Substitutions. Stevens Point.
Here we go. You got the substitutions.
Got Oliver coming in. She'll be taking off Foltz. And for number 5 for Stevens Point, we have Amanda Prowett coming in for Brittany Boyer. Foltz getting a well-deserved break.
That's right.
Yeah, she's been playing real hard.
She always plays hard. This whole Wheaton team always goes hard. It's fun to watch, and especially when you got a game like this. Kopelman and Turner coming up with the ball in midfield now for Wheaton. Kopelman has it, and she's got Turner square, plays her. Turner with the ball in the middle of the field. Maybe she'll have a shot here. She does, and it goes nice shot wide of the goal, though, to the right.
We've got a little under 16 minutes left in this game. Score of 2-1 in favor of Wheaton. Taryn Lee with both of those goals.
Let me tell you, that's the stuff champions are made of, Blair.
Yes. I would never disagree with that.
Orweiler wins the ball in the air off the goal kick. Now goes to Lee. Lee has the ball. Orweiler overlapping, hits Kopelman near the top corner of the box. Near side, Kopelman carrying it into the box, going towards the goal line. Now plays the ball negative. Actually tried to play the ball negative. Instead, it goes out of bounds. So it's going to be a goal kick for the Pointers. Hodina getting ready to check into the game next time she's able to. Goal kick taken, headed back into the Pointers' box. Lee has it now near the top of the box, plays across to Kopelman. Kopelman has it with Grove on her right, Orweiler on her left, Turner behind her, plays Turner behind her. Turner takes a shot off of a defender, gets it back. Now plays far side, near side to Grove. Grove with Spies in front of her, plays up to Kopelman. Kopelman being defended by Musbach. Kopelman goes right, trying to go goal line, now cuts it back. Now cuts it back again towards the goal line, plays it in the air across the box and out of bounds for another goal kick.
And Hodina coming in now. She'll be taking, looks like, Lee off of the field. So Lee, with 2 goals, will come out in the last 14 minutes of this game.
And she may be back in. We'll see.
She could be.
Goal kick taken by Vandenheuvel. Goes short to Turner in the middle of the field. Turner loses it to Pruitt. Turner battling Pruitt and maybe a little too much battling. Foul call. It's going to be a free kick for the Pointers. Kick to be taken by Cornelius. Cornelius, her kick goes up to Mosier. Good step by Mosier. Mosier coming in across midfield now, carrying the ball about 20 yards on the ground. Now plays over to Hodina near side. Hodina tries to go over Cornelius, and instead Cornelius wins it in the air. Orweiler comes down with it in the middle of the field. Orweiler has Bischke in front of her. Plays over to Grove. Grove plays in the air, in the box, and it's going to go in to the hands of none other than Pam Lucko, the goalkeeper for Stevens Point. Lucko's punt's going to go past midfield, over the head of Turner. Oliver heads it straight up to herself, gets another header, and heads it upfield a little bit. Stevens Point comes into possession of it. Walsh clears the ball, tries to send a through ball, rather, on the far side of the field to Weiss, their leading goal scorer. Weiss can't get it, though, and Lidner's going to come up with it in the back and put it out of bounds on the far side. Throw for UW Stevens Point. Throw goes in and is then played back to Waterman. Waterman plays it up to Bischke. Bischke plays it up to Weiss. Weiss gives it to Larson, it looks like, on the goal line, playing it across the box on the ground, and Erickson, sure hands, comes up with it. Erickson rolls it out to Turner. Turner lets it roll in front of her and then plays Orweiler. Orweiler turns with the ball across her body. Now coming up the field. She's got tons of space in front of her. Hodina on her left, Hodina on her right, Kopelman on her left. Plays Kopelman. Kopelman turns with it. Plays a through ball to Herman. Herman running into the box. Has herself in the goalie. Goal! Jamie Herman from Kopelman. 3-1. I like. Kopelman, again, this unselfish Wheaton team. Kopelman got the ball near the top of the box, turned with it, and instead of playing towards Herman outside, split her defender and Herman's defender and played it straight up the box.
Third of the season for number 3, Jamie Herman.
And Herman was able to run around the defender on a little slanted run. Run around the defender, beat her to the ball, and then have herself in the goalie, put it on the ground past the goalie for her 3rd goal of the season.
Number 9, Kelly Lloyd.
So we got a couple substitutions now for Stevens Point. Kelly Lloyd checks into the game, and also checking in is Lauren Semling, and she's going to grab Katie Waterman. So Katie Waterman and actually Leah Larson are the 2 players coming off the field for Stevens Point. About 11 minutes left in this one. This Wheaton attack is finally, the scoring, rather, has finally caught up with Wheaton's attack.
Yes.
As putting through 3 goals in the second half. We saw that at Augustana. Good constant attack, really out-attacking the other Augustana opponent. Orweiler with the ball now near the top of the box, plays in the box towards Hodina, and Lucko's going to come up with it. We saw 3 goals in the second half at Augustana, maybe just the relentless pressure. The other team not able to keep up with it, but really this got started, the scoring got started on Lee's goal, which was from almost the corner flag, as she crossed it in the air, trying to hit Berg, and it tailed back and went off the far post and back into the goal.
No one saw that coming.
I certainly didn't. Clearance by Lidner goes up to Hodina. Hodina plays Grove. Grove with Spies in front of her. Goes past Spies and then tries to go past Musbach. Musbach comes up with it. Plays on the ground up the middle of the field towards the Wheaton defense, and Lidner comes up with it in the defense. Plays on the ground up the middle to Turner. Turner plays near side to Grove, still on Wheaton in Wheaton territory. Plays up across midfield to Hodina. Hodina with a through ball to Kopelman. Kopelman with it, heading towards the goal line, and she's going to watch it go out of bounds off the goal line for a goal kick. And the goal kick is going to be taken by Vanden Heuvel. In the air, won by Orweiler in the middle of the field. Orweiler's header goes to Stevens Point, cleared to Lidner. Lidner goes past Pruitt and then passes past Weiss up to Turner. Turner lays it back to Orweiler. Orweiler turns with it, has Weiss on her. Orweiler plays left foot up across midfield in the air to Herman, who scored that third goal. Herman with a long ball trying to find Kopelman, and it's going to be cleared straight up in the air by Vanden Heuvel. Herman follows it up with a header over towards Hodina. Hodina can't win it, and Walsh is going to not come up with it as Orweiler beats her to the ball, but now she powers through Orweiler, comes up with it, plays up to Pruitt. Good step by Mosier, winning the ball from Pruitt in the backfield for Wheaton. And Pruitt with just a blatant push on Mosier, and that's going to be called a foul every time. You see that in basketball. That might be a flagrant. Mosier takes the kick up to Grove. Grove touches middle of the field, loses it to Pruitt. Mosier comes up with it in the back for Wheaton. Now lays it back to Lidner. Lidner plays it in the air towards the middle of the field. One bounce finds Kopelman's head. Kopelman back to Turner. Turner up to Herman. Herman trying to win it on that far side of the field. She wins it for Wheaton and lays it back to Orweiler. Orweiler coming up the field, drops it to Turner. Turner plays it near side of the field to Grove. Grove plays it up to Hodina. Hodina with two defenders in front of her plays it in the air across the box and taken out of the air by Vanden Heuvel. Right to Orweiler though. Orweiler's going to be called for a handball. And Walsh is going to clear it up the field as Lidner steps in and takes her clearance. Turner's going to have it in the middle of the field, plays up across midfield towards Herman. Herman trying to win the ball from Kelly Lloyd. Lloyd and Turner battling for it, and Lloyd and Herman battling for it. Herman wins it. Ball comes middle of the field towards Hodina, and it's cleared up and out towards Grove. Grove's got all day as Spees is closing space slowly a little bit. Grove plays to Kopelman. Kopelman has it in the middle of the field, plays Orweiler with it at the top of the box, takes a shot just over the, actually not even over, just wide of the goal.
We have Kish Kunis coming in for Wheaton. She'll be taking Kopelman. And for Stevens Point, we have number 19, Andrea Pfeiffer, coming in for Jackie Spees.
That would have been top corner if it had been on target, just wide of that top right corner for Orweiler's shot. And again, 6:30 left in this game. Score is 3-1, Wheaton College having scored the last 3 goals of the game, 2 of them in a span of about -2 seconds. I don't know how they did it, but it happened. They scored it back to back so quick.
Gonna want to watch the video on that one.
Yeah. Mosier's free kick from midfield goes long to Kleinstra. Kleinstra touches middle to Herman. Herman tries to get it back to Kleinstra and then loses it to Semling. Semling loses it to Herman, and Herman trying to go by Semling now on the sideline. Semling and Herman battling for it. Semling wins it. Now clears it up to Kleinstra. Kleinstra has it. She's got Orweiler middle of the field. Plays towards Kish Kunis, who just checked into the game. And it's going to be Kish Kunis with the ball in the middle of the field. Puts the ball in the air towards the box, headed out by Vanden Heuvel. Kish Kunis now trying to win it from Bischke, and she does for a moment. Now Kish Kunis with it on the far side of the field, plays off a defender and out of bounds for a throw. And here's the substitution.
For Wheaton, we have number 9, Maria De La Torre, and number 15, Laura Stetson coming in. They'll be taking Orweiler and Kleinstra off the field, giving them a break. Here with a little more than 5 minutes left in this game. Wheaton with 3, Stevens Point 1.
And Sutton is going to be playing out there on the left side midfield. Kish Kunis moves up top. She's going to be playing one of these striker positions alongside Herman and Hodina. Throw goes in towards the middle of the field, and Grove comes up with it. Turner makes an overlapping run. She plays Delatorre instead. Delatorre goes by one defender and then is swarmed by others. Takes a left-footed shot just wide of the goal, but a diving save made anyway. And we're going to call that on goal, as there was a diving save by Lucco. Lucco's punt bounces right in front of midfield, taken out of the air by Mosier. Mosier's header is batted back towards her as she and Prowett are under the ball. Mosier heads it to Grove. Grove heads it middle of the field towards Turner. Turner plays it with her thigh upfield past the defender, and Sutton trying to win it. Herman's going to try to win the ball from Semling on the far side. Weiss has the ball now in Wheaton's box. Weiss was trying to possess it, cleared by Sutton. And there's a deflected shot off a defender as Hodina comes up with it now, clears it up across midfield for Wheaton. Walsh has it. Walsh plays it in the air to Grove. Grove with a good touch to her feet. Plays with her left foot to Kishkunis. Kishkunis has it. Defender on her back, steps over the ball. Now lays it back to Grove. Grove rockets it off of Pfeiffer and out of bounds. 3:30 left in the second half. 3-1 Wheaton. Grove taking in her options for the throw. Now throws it into Kishkunis. Kishkunis with a defender on her immediately. They're going to call it off of her. So it's going to be a throw for the Pointers and Megan Musbach. Musbach takes the throw. Throw goes into Weiss. Weiss being defended by Oliver. Weiss lays it back to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer plays it up in the air, and that's taken out of the air by Turner to Kishkunis. Kishkunis plays it to Herman, and Herman plays a long ball to Hodina. Hodina's running in on goal. Cuts it past one defender, has it on her left foot, plays it across the goal. Diving save. Great shot by Hodina. Diving save out of bounds. Corner kick for Wheaton.
Now we have Carrie Kishaba coming in. She'll be taking Moser off the field. And Thunder will take another corner kick.
And Kishaba actually moves up to right mid as Grove drops back to right back. Right defense. Corner kick is played short to Delatorre. Delatorre with it at the top corner of the box on the far side. Takes a right-footed shot off a defender. Grove comes up with it. Grove plays it in the air, in the box, into the hands of Lucco. Kishkunis was right there had she dropped it.
It's okay.
About 2:30 left in this one. Wheaton holding a 2-goal lead on Stevens Point, who is currently ranked 10th in the nation, but you get to teams like this and everyone's good. Wheaton was finally able to capitalize on their plethora of shots, putting 3 goals through here in the second half. And Prowett going to try to keep this inbounds, and she's not going to be able to. It's going to be a goal kick for Erickson and the Thunder. Erickson, is she going to play short? Grove showing for a short. She does play over to Grove. Grove has Kishaba showing line, instead plays middle of the field to Turner. Turner has it, plays with her back upfield to Kishaba. Kishaba plays middle of the field to Delatorre. Good possession by Wheaton. Delatorre with it on her left foot. Dribbling across midfield, plays it to Sutton on the far side, playing left mid for Wheaton. Sutton back to Delatorre. Delatorre plays square to Turner right in the center of the field. Turner plays near side to Kishaba. Kishaba has Grove behind her and plays her. Grove plays towards Kishaba, who showed line after her pass. Kishaba carrying it up the field a little bit here. She's got Herman in front of her, plays middle of the box towards Kishkunis, and it's going to go off of a defender and out of bounds for a corner kick for Wheaton.
Corner Wheaton.
Thunder, corner kick.
This corner is going to be taken short, played to Kishaba by Herman, and Kishaba plays it in the air across the box, punched up by the keeper, comes down to Kishkunis. Kishkunis tries to put a shot on, goes off a defender.
A minute left.
And there's a long shot by Turner, and that's going to go high of the goal, over the crossbar. So Kishkunis had a shot that was blocked, and Turner followed it up with a shot over the goal. Wheaton still applying pressure with less than a minute left here. 38 minutes, and unless something drastic happens, it looks like right now they will come away with the W over UW Stevens Point. It's going to be about 20 seconds left now. Throw in on the near side, and Kishaba comes up with it. Kishaba plays in the air up to Herman. It's going to go out of bounds for a UW Stevens Point throw. And we're going to try to get an interview with Coach Felsky after this one. This will do it. Your final score is Wheaton College 3, UW Stevens Point 1. Wheaton moving to 7-1-1 on the season. UW Stevens Point dropping to 7-2. The only other team that UW Stevens Point lost to this year was, let's see here, Trinity in Texas. They lost their first game of the season 4-2. They actually held a 2-0 lead in that game and then gave up 4 goals to Trinity University. So Stevens Point, both of their losses coming off of leads that they held and then giving up a number of goals, this time 3 goals to Wheaton in the second half, as Stevens Point walks off a little bit dejected off of this field, and Wheaton jogging over to their fans where they receive a hearty welcome. Their next game will be a conference match. Will not be a conference match, excuse me. It'll be against the University of Chicago. It will be a home game here on the 29th. That's a Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. And then that is the last game for this month of September. And October will begin on the 1st of October with a conference game against Elmhurst College. That's home as well at 7 o'clock. So Wheaton with 3 more home games before they go on a 4-game road swing and then come back home for 4. And then you've got the CCIW tournament. So Wheaton gathering up in the middle of the field with closing this game out in prayer after a 3-1 victory. This was Taryn Lee's 4th consecutive game with at least 1 goal. And how many did she score today, Blair?
She scored 2 back-to-back. Then about, I don't know, 15 seconds of each other.
Yeah, we're gonna get the final statistics for you in a moment, and we're gonna get that along with the times that she scored. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the second goal was scored at the same time as the first goal, because that's about how soon it seemed.
Yeah.
It was almost instant. So Lee with 10 goals now on the season. The second goal was assisted by I believe Kopelman. Yep. So Kopelman had the assist on that one. That was her first assist of the season. And actually the second one was assisted by Grove, I believe. Kopelman may have had an assist on the first one. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, Brett took the good one.
We'll see when the statistics come out. So Wheaton again moving to 7-1-1 on the season.
Okay, it's printing out right now. I'll be done here in a second.
And Coach Felsky's got to be happy with this effort. Blair, what do you think the difference maker was in this one?
Really, they just kept attacking. And even when the pressure, we came in the second half and saw that Stevens Point was really just keeping, all 11 players behind the ball went on defense. And Wheaton did not back down. They in fact moved their entire lineup, kept that defensive wall on the other side of the midfield just to make sure that they kept recovering the ball every time it was cleared out. And so that really contributed to us being able to trying to capitalize on the shots we were making.
That's right, and we did capitalize again 3 times. And here are some end-of-game statistics for you. We're going to still try to get Coach Felsky up here. He is with his team right now, and he is going to come up here. Final game statistics, Wheaton had, guess how many shots? 38. 38 shots. At halftime, 14 shots, 3 of them on goal. In the second half, they had another 24 shots, and of those 24 shots, 12 of them were put on frame. So half of them, and 3 of them were in the goal. Again, 2 assists on the game. Here's Coach Felsky. He's going to be joining us right now as the camera is going to pan for you, for those of you viewing. You got that there?
Got it.
All right, Coach. You all moved to 7-1-1 on the season. after that win. What were you thinking after Stevens Point scored that first goal of the game?
I'm usually thinking the same thing I'm thinking every game. Teams are waiting for that opportunity. As you can see, they play a lot of players behind the ball once again. If they score first, they can beat us. And however, today was a little different in the fact that I thought we were wearing them down as the game went along. We were certainly having a number of opportunities to score a goal. It's just a matter of time today, I thought. And unfortunately, we had to rely on a not-so-pretty goal by T to tie the game. But once we got that one, we were off and rolling. So
what you may call not so pretty, we call pretty amazing up here. That was some shot by Lee to put the Thunder into the tie, 1-1 at the time. You had 14 shots in the first half. 3 of them were on goal. In the second half, you had another 24 shots, and half of those went on goal. What did you say at halftime?
Yeah, I was pretty adamant at halftime. I told our players it's time to put the doubt and the fear of where we are behind us. We were one of the best teams in this region. I think the first couple of weeks we didn't play like it, we didn't act like it, and maybe that hurt us as far as putting that own fear or doubt in us. It's fairly clear after we've seen Eau Claire, we've seen Stevens Point, we'll see University of Chicago on Monday. We deserve to be here. We need to start playing like it. And we told them at halftime, put all doubts and fears aside, let's go at them. And I think we did that.
Now, Coach, Taryn extending her goals scored in a game streak to 4, so this is her 4th consecutive game with goals scored. We know she was feeling not 100% about a week ago. How's she feeling now?
You know, I still don't think she's 100%. I think when you see her turn and she has some space to take, that she's not really accelerating like she'd like to and beating players on the run like she'd like to. But, you know, the not-so-pretty goal that you called real nice, T has a habit of scoring goals when we need them and finding a way to put the ball in the back of the net. So even though she's not healthy 100%, we'll take her where she is. She's a fantastic player.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
And good luck on Monday.
Thank you.
That was Coach Pete Felsky joining us for a post-game interview. And again, we're going to finish up these end-of-the-game statistics as Wheaton moves to 7-1-1 on the season. Again, 24 shots in the second half. Half of those were on target, making a total of 38 shots for the game, 15 on target. For your Wheaton Thunder, Taryn Lee had 7 shots, 4 of them on goal, 2 in the goal. Orweiler had 5 shots, 2 of them on goal. Berg, 4 shots, 2 on goal. Mosier, 3 shots, 1 on goal. Karsten had 3 shots. Kopelman finished with 2 shots. She picked up an assist. The other assist was given to Mary Beth Grove. Jamie Herman scored the 3rd goal of the game for Wheaton College. And here's the time that we were wondering. Taryn's first goal came at 69 minutes and 28 seconds into the game, and her second goal came 19 seconds later. Pretty impressive. Wheaton moving to 3-1 on the season. I'm Noah Helm again. We had Blair Malcolm here, was alongside me for this entire game. Thanks to her. Thanks to everybody filming and Zach in the studio. Wheaton moving to 7-1-1 on the season. This has been a production of WETN Sports. Back to you in the studio.
Do we have to take this back?
Fourth down and short, and Hope wants to go for it here, so.
You know, it's an aggressive call and a bit of a gamble, but right now, you know, they're trailing back 2 touchdowns early. They want to get this first down, get some momentum going so they can get back in this game.
So Lovelace and Rodriguez split in the backfield. They've got 2 wide receivers in the game as well. Manning looking back to pass. He's going to the outside, trying to find Trying to find Snyder again, but they're going to turn it over on downs. That was a little too tall for him on that one. And the Wheaton defense does their job. They bend a little bit, but they don't break. And they're going to have the ball back in their possession again for the offense, which has been a juggernaut so far in this ball game.
You know, the out route is one of the hardest routes really to throw as a quarterback. You don't see it run very extensively in college because of this. Well, I mean, you see it run, but not a whole lot of college quarterbacks can really complete it well. It's just a very difficult angle. Your window is so much smaller than on the, say, crossing routes or routes downfield. If it's a little bit behind, it gets picked off. If it's just a few inches too far forward, the wide receiver can't get to it. Very tough throw, and, you know, giving it up on 4th down there by the Dutchman.
So Antel in the game along with Picorni. They're the wide receivers split out to the left. Norris is going to roll to his left. He's looking deep. He's got Picorni again, and they're going to say he caught it out of bounds. Didn't get any feet down that time, but a good aggressive play call by Wheaton there to look to Picorni downfield. They took advantage of that a lot last week against Concordia, and they're trying to revisit more of the same here, but Hope made a good play on the ball, make sure they did not come down in bounds with the ball.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's something that worked well for him last week. One of the reasons it worked well for him last week, though, is Picorni was able to get behind the defense. In that one, there was still safety help up top, which makes it a much harder pass to complete. Safety made a good play, making sure he didn't come down in bounds with it. And as a result, it's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Wheaton offense.
Norris will take this from under center. He flips it off to the right side. This is Andrew Hershey, and he hurdles over his own lineman there, takes it down to about the 39-yard line before he is wrestled down by Matt Anderson, one of their cornerbacks. And we haven't really taken a look at that starting defense for Hope yet. Let's go ahead and do that right now, Matt.
Well, starting defense for Hope, number 51, Taylor Fox, defensive end. Number 95, Matt Kloss, number 66, Jordan Moore, and number 90, Cal Urich, the other defensive lineman. The 2 linebackers, number 33, Chris Batterby, and 35, Zach Jones.
And we'll look at the DBs here in a second. They come out with the 4-2-5 look, basically playing primarily nickel. Norris out of the gun here, and they're going to be a false start penalty against Wheaton. Pretty obvious on that one is looks like Lake and Antel both jumped early there, anticipating a different snap count. Why don't you go ahead and finish with the rest of that nickel look for this Hope defense?
Well, the 2 corners, number 4, Matt Anderson, and number 8, Chris Jackson. And the 3 safeties, number 38, Kevin Van Dockenberg, and number 30, Mike Poss, and number 29, Kyle Warren. Again, you know, 4-2-5 look, and that kind of plays into Wheaton's hands. You know, not a lot of size on the front 6. And, you know, obviously with 5 defensive backs, they're guarding really well against the pass. But it really plays into the hands of this offensive line and Rocky Ging. And we've seen that early on, Wheaton having a lot of success running the ball.
And that'll do it for the first quarter here from Holland Municipal Stadium. Wheaton leading 14-0, and they will switch ends. You guys say it's a pretty successful first quarter for Wheaton's football team. Not so much for the audio department today, but yeah, Wheaton playing well. And Hope had a good drive going there right before the end of the quarter, unable to convert on 4th down. But I think if you're Hope, you got to be happy that they at least got the ball moving.
You know, I think you can take that, you know, as a high point when you're getting on the sidelines and talking to the coaches and trying to figure out what went wrong. You were able to move the ball. You were able to complete passes downfield. It's just a matter of really shoring up the offensive line, making sure that Manning has time, and also making sure that they have some running lanes. You know, that was really the thing that killed them, is they weren't able to get a thing when they ran the ball on the ground. It was almost as if it was a wasted down, you know, either stopped at the line of scrimmage or dropped for a loss. And that's something they're going to have to try and work on, because they're really setting themselves up for some long 3rd down situations and that 4th down that they